Hey, folks, welcome back to NewsOne Now. Time for our roundtable. Joining us is Judith Browne Dianis. She's the co-director of the Advancement Project. Always good to see Judith. Also, Angela Rye. She is, of course, with Impact Strategies, and my homeboy Elroy Sailor with the J.C. Watts Companies. And, of course, Elroy had enough sense to wear a pocket square on the show. So, you know how we do.
I got the right one today,
You know how we do. So, again, glad to have all of you on the first show. Thank you so very much. Let me first go start with Angela. And here you have this Kendrick Jonhnson family. They're trying to get answers. They're trying to figure out what happened to their son. And they're sitting here fighting with the sheriff's department to release videotapes, had to go to court. The DA is saying, nope, everything is all clear. They got to call in the feds. What does this say about black life when it doesn't make sense to say a star athlete fell into a mat trying to get a shoe, and they're having a fight to get the proper answers?
Right. I think what it says is that we've not come as far as we thought we had. The fact is that the feds, are just now investigating this, although this young man died in January. The fact that the feds have to come into this particular county is also problematic. We do know that it is a predominantly white county, that this is not any real shock to anyone. And I think for those of us in our community and really more broadly throughout America, we're not shocked at all since the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman verdict.
Elroy?
I think it speaks to a more fundamental and systematic problem in the United States of America, where you have countless story after countless story of young African-American men and women finding themselves in situations where we just don't have a voice. So then we reach to the federal government, and the federal government is off busy doing immigration reform or doing health care reform and larger, big pictures in life. And sometimes who was there looking out for the young, the vulnerable, the disenfranchised? So you're just starting to see that countless time after countless time throughout the United States of America.
Judith, what bothers me is the fact that some 1,900 hours of surveillance tape. Right. The sheriff's department is fighting the release. The first thing they say is, well, there were other kids in the video, so we're concerned about their privacy. Fine. You simply blot out their photos. You simply do what we do in television all the time. The family's trying to get answers, and the sheriff's department and the coroner and the DA, it feels as if the family of the kid who's dead is fighting against them. And then people say, well, why do you need civil rights groups? Why do you guys protest? Why do you make so much noise? Hello, Exhibit A.
Right. What are they hiding? And why is it taking so long to get the real story? It really does underscore for us that too often African American especially young men of color, are being killed with no justice. When they botch an investigation from the beginning, you could expect that it's going to be harder to get to the end game and to real justice.
Well, also in this case, when they exhumed the body, they discover his organs are missing. Right. His body is stuffed with newspapers. And so the state officials say, no, we sent organs with the body. Now all of a sudden they're saying, well, no, it was the funeral home, and the family's sitting here going, what happened to the organs? And the organs are a vital piece of evidence in this case because it also helps you determine blunt trauma force.
Right. So it's just going to be harder for the feds to actually get the real story because, like I said, if you botch from day one, like I remember seeing a show where they said, oh, there was blood on the wall in the gym, and the police officer said, well, there's always blood on the wall in a gym. It's a gym. There's contact. What? And they didn't investigate the blood on the wall. So if you mess up from step one, along the way, you're not going to be able to put together the facts to make the case.
And, of course, we remember in the Trayvon Martin situation, what the police do at the outset always comes back to haunt you if you do go to trial, because the defense could always argue shoddy police work, and so it contaminating the evidence. And so here you have a family simply trying to get proper answers. I think that's what's most troubling. And there are people who are watching this case who often say, why do African Americans protest, Angela? Why do they protest, Elroy? Why do you have civil rights groups? Why does Reverend Jackson, Reverend Sharpton, NAACP, and others, why do they have to step in? Because a family here is saying we can't get answers.
Without them, there's no voice. And again, I think the most problematic thing to this situation is that it's not an isolated incident. It's 2013, and those are still the steps that we have to take. We still have to utilize civil rights organizations and a bully pulpit somewhere to get real answers.
I want to switch topics here. Big election taking place tomorrow all across the country. Races in Virginia, New Jersey, mayoral races, Houston, Charlotte, other places where black mayors are on the ballot. Elroy, your city could very well have its first white mayor in 4 decades.
Yeah.
The Motor City, Detroit.
Use the bully pulpit to muster the resources, the bully pulpit, the legislation, and the policy to go into that city to help rebuild it. The president has really been silent, and I think we can all admit, on Detroit. They had a little forum or discussion a couple weeks ago, but that was long after they had the emergency manager in place. So I do have some frustration with the administration, with the federal government as a whole. We can do Marshall plans. We can go into Iraq. We can go into Afghanistan. We can go in all these places around the world and help rebuild and redevelop. But we can't go into a city right here at home.
Hold tight 1 second. I have to go to a break. I know Angela wants to jump in. Look at it. She's already like, I got to get in this.